disclosure, the concept of bringing the truth into the light. And I think a lot of people are here for the same reason, and that is we know that we're not being told everything by our governments, by the media. So whether it's alternative health, government cover-ups, fake news, ufology, ETs, there's one reason or another that people are here to discuss the truths that we're not being told by the official narrative.
On December 16, 2017, on the front page of the New York Times, there was a highly credible story about the ATIP program and how Luis Elizondo, who headed up that program, now had been able to have certain information released. And that is what he said was disclosure. He stood on the stage at the MUFON Symposium and he stated, for all of these years you have been telling the truth, and now we are telling the truth. And this is coming to the American public in tiny steps, but we have information that we will reveal over time, and we will gauge the public's reaction.
They've been really slow in releasing things. I mean, they wanted this stuff released a long time ago, and they don't want them to keep lying to the people. But it's now speeding up. There's some really good people in place that are starting to bring this information out. But you got to be aware of a lot of the disclosure projects because it's the same group and it's the same story, but the same group, and then it dies and it doesn't go anywhere. So you got to get outside that box and get with people that really know what's going on to bring the information out.
Some people think that disclosure is something that will happen suddenly, all at once, with a big D. Disclosure. And I find that what's taking place now, even to this day, we have so many different reports coming out in the mainstream media, which people are very ridiculing of. But what we see happening is a subtle form of disclosure, a dripping effect, if you will. And so what's going on is I think people are being subconsciously prepared through the media, through movies, through Hollywood, through music, through video games. All of these kinds of things are helping to reinforce the notion that not only are we not alone, but we've never been alone, and there's always going to be a presence with us, whether we consider it to be alien, ghosts, spiritual phenomenon, metaphysical, all of these things go to show that there's something happening and we need to acknowledge that. So I feel like disclosure is something that we need to have happen, but it might not happen in the way that most people think.
I feel that disclosure is something that is coming no matter what we do. We have genuine disclosure of alien visitor life, who they are, what they're doing, and why they're here. That is coming no matter what. But I also feel that fake disclosure is also going on at the same exact time. That's what makes it such a tricky subject. And that's what we have to deal with.
I would say disclosure is different for every single person. I mean, there's some people that want like UFO disclosure, and what do they want UFO disclosure? To say aliens exist or craft are real, but then again, where are these aliens coming from? Who's making these craft? Where do they come from? Or is disclosure alternative energy? Are we going to get free energy? Is it going to change the economy? All these things are, I would say, world-changing events. So if you did some type of disclosure, the whole world would have to change to match that reveal. So it would be a really, really big shift in consciousness and life in general if anything like that would be disclosed. And we see in the media right now that they're releasing a lot of mainstream stories that the Pentagon or the US Navy is releasing information on UFOs. But then again, it's like, can we really trust these sources or the agenda of why they're telling us this? Because right now we're going into Space Force, we're going into weaponization of space. You know, there's all these very interesting things at play that we really have to be discussing of what disclosure really means to humanity as a whole.
We are disclosure. You and I, all of us in this room are disclosure. There's so many individual cases ongoing with extraterrestrial contact, they outnumber the stories being told in the mass media. And when you start speaking with people one-on-one, you get goosebumps. And so if we're all waiting for a media article to come out, well, the ones that come out have been suppressed and altered. So we must continuously replicate our studies, recycle our stories, and continue to whistleblow in our own way. Because not everyone around this planet has the freedom to disclose. They suffer all kinds of dangers and injustices when they reveal what the higher factions are doing.
I have said many times in the public and in privately that if there's going to be disclosure, it will not be done by the federal government. It will have to be done by people like the folks that are here at Contacting the Desert that takes the forefront in taking that forward to the public and to have an input from others that will follow. And that's the only way that we can do that. We have to not allow any government agency to be part of the disclosure. Or if it comes to that point, we have to go through, take some legal action to get the information out.
Ever since I saw something up close and personal 2 years before, thousands of other people, over 10,000, so the same exact phenomenon that I was documenting on film, 35 millimeter, the only 35 millimeter of anomalous aerial phenomenon that was so mind-boggling, opened up a whole new world for me. I knew nothing about this topic at all. And yet, once I saw something, and then learned that other countries are much more open to these phenomena as being otherworldly, that native cultures actually have protocols to invite these phenomena in, pushed my whole medical career aside for 7 years, searching for a logical explanation I have yet to find 22 years later. But the data is so credible and so important that as a scientist, as a physician, to let people know they're not alone, even though most anomalies can be explained, only a small percentage cannot. Just because we don't have the technology to definitively define what these things are, it doesn't mean they're not real. We may just be looking on the AM dial for an FM frequency. So it's time to get this topic out in the open, address it, accept it, and study it. So we can move forward and not only find out who's driving these things, but move forward in our own evolution. And it's amazing now that things are starting to evolve in media as well as the mass consciousness, that something is happening that is out of our reality cube. And if I could be a part of that, which is why I came forward in 2004, not only to set the record straight of all the missing disinformation about the Phoenix Lights mass sighting, which has become the most documented, most witnessed, most important mass anomalous sighting in modern history, then I've done my job of trying to help on that disclosure. Because people need to learn what's really going on. And that's the key. And now, even though everybody comes from a different background, different upbringing, different belief system, some people can't deal with this topic. Some people don't want to. And that's okay. Everyone in their own time. Some people need to feed into a logical explanation. That's okay. If it gives them comfort, everyone in their own time. But now, there's data that cannot be explained or denied.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna have to happen from the bottom up. People are gonna have to start listening to each other's testimonies rather than wait for the president to make a big announcement. So I think disclosure, and it'll slowly happen the more and more people see UFOs. Because if they're denying the existence of unusual aerial phenomena, then there's a couple things it could be. It could be a man-made creation that we don't know about with advanced technology, or perhaps some other type of ET friends type of creation. So that's what we're trying to figure out here. So we listen to each other, we hear each other's testimonies, and we're building the truth from there.
The second step to disclosure is taking place where the Navy admitted to studying UFOs. They're not saying they're extraterrestrial.
Right.
They're saying we're studying this. And the funny thing is that the military was studying this way back in 1946 and 1947. And then at the largest press conference ever held after World War II, the military general, John Alexander Sanford, told the people at this conference that these things have been seen in the sky since biblical times, and that the military was studying them, that they were interested, but they were going to study this methodically.
I first started getting different experiences that led me to question several avenues in life, whether it was spirituality, the existence of possible alternative beings, intelligent life forms beyond humans. And that to me was such a big fascination that it drew me down this rabbit hole of studying, researching, investigating, connecting with other people and networking with those in a way who otherwise, if you isolate yourself, you feel alone. And there is community in this field. And I think that's the big important issue here, is that you have this supportive network of people who come forward. And it's not unless you have people come forward to share these cases that we have anything to work on, or work with rather, because without the support of these people coming forward, no one would know anything about any of this stuff. And that's the important thing. So for myself personally, I felt that what I was dealing with, I experienced certain things that drew me out to go into other communities and reach out to other places that were researching mysterious phenomenon, and I felt like a sense of community was there, a supportive network that you're not going to be ridiculed, you're not going to be scrutinized for your beliefs or your experiences. So for myself, I found that through my own experiences, it led me on a path to connect with others, to find out what's going on, and we work together to see what's going on, and we won't know if we don't go.
Well, if they start talking about the Illuminati folks and how they're best friends with Podestas and the Clintons and things like that, then it's probably a good idea to shy away from that.
Yeah.
You know, get the people that are more enlightened and more service oriented.